when I see people like perhaps, including some very smart people, kind of taking an attitude of like doing things that seem like morally questionable, it's often because they have at a base sort of axiomatic level a zero-sum mindset. They don't realize they have a zero-sum mindset, or at least they don't realize it consciously. And so if you have a zero-sum mindset, then the only way to get ahead is by taking things from others. So that's a big deal. I think there's like a fair number of people in finance that do have a bit of a zero-sum mindset.
Yeah,
Pi is not fixed.
Yes.
So you really want to make sure you're not operating without realizing it from a zero-sum mindset, where the only way to get ahead is to take things from others. Then that's going to result in you trying to take things from others, which is not good. It's much better to work on adding to the economic pie. If the pie is fixed, then the only way to have more pie is to take someone else's pie. But this is false. Like, obviously the pie has grown dramatically over time, the economic pie.
I think if you care about the reality of goodness instead of the perception of it, philanthropy is extremely difficult. Tesla is accelerating sustainable energy. SpaceX is trying to ensure the long-term survival of humanity with multi-planet species. This is love of humanity. SpaceX, Tesla, Neuralink, Boring Company are philanthropy. If you say philanthropy is love of humanity, they are philanthropy. Well, for sure, it would be very problematic if I was consuming billions of dollars a year in personal consumption. But that is not the case. In fact, I don't even own a home right now. I'm literally staying at friends' places. If I travel to the Bay Area, where most of Tesla engineering is, I stay in I basically rotate through friends' spare bedrooms. I mean, at this point, it's water off a duck's back. I actually don't think about that too much. It's not as though there's that my personal consumption is high. The one exception is a plane, but if I don't use the plane, then I have less hours to work. Every good hour or even minute of thinking about Tesla and SpaceX has such a big effect on the company that I really try to work as much as possible, to the edge of sanity, basically. But there are many instances where a half-hour meeting, I was able to improve the financial outcome of the company by $100 million in a half-hour meeting.
We don't think too much about what competitors are doing.
Yeah.
Just because I think it's important to be just focused on making the best possible products.
First principles analysis, I think, is something that can be applied to really any walk of life, anything really. It's really just saying, let's boil something down to the most fundamental principles, the things that we are most confident are true at a foundational level.
And what tends to happen is it's sort of quite exciting for the first several months of starting a company, and then reality sets in. I mean, maybe there are occasionally companies that get created where there's not an extended period of extreme pain. But I'm not aware of very many of such instances.
Yeah.
Things don't go as well as planned.
Yeah.
Customers aren't signing up. The technology or the product isn't working as well as you thought.
Yeah.
So I think, frankly, starting a company, I would advise people to have a high pain tolerance.
Yeah.
I do think that new great entrepreneurs are born every day, and we'll continue to see amazing companies get built. I think this is sort of general, advice I'd give to people starting companies, to entrepreneurs in general, is really focus on making a product that your customers love. Now, there will always be, some degree of imperfection, but try to minimize that. And I think if you do that, then the rest kind of takes care of itself. I mean, as long as people stay super focused on creating the absolute best product or service that really delights their end customer. I mean, just saying, well, is there a better way?
Yeah.
To ask that question.
Yeah.
I think sort of how incredible the Apollo program was, and just,
Yeah.
I mean, if you ask anyone and say, name some of humanity's greatest achievements in the 20th century, the Apollo program, landing on the moon, would in many, if not most places, be number one. Going to Mars is definitely going to be, it's going to be hard and dangerous and difficult in probably every way you can imagine. And it would be exciting and inspiring. And there need to be things that excite and inspire people.
Yeah.
You'll have to be, reasons why you get up in the morning. It can't just be solving problems. It's got to be, something great's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
I am not one of the doomsday people, which may surprise. I actually think we're on a good path. But at the same time, I want to caution against complacency. Essentially, it's important to take whatever actions we can think of to address the existential risks that affect the future of consciousness. And we need to secure the future of consciousness by being a multi-planet species.
What kind of future do we want? Do we want a future where we are forever confined to one planet until some eventual extinction event, however far in the future that might occur? Or do we want to become a multi-planet species and then ultimately be out there among the stars and be among many planets, many star systems? And so there's the defensive reason of protecting the future of humanity, ensuring that the light of consciousness is not extinguished should some calamity befall Earth. Personally, I find what gets me more excited is the fact that this would be an incredible adventure. Maybe like the greatest adventure ever.
So, I think we got to get back to the moon and build a base there. A science base. I think we could learn. A lot about the nature of the universe if we have a proper science base on the moon.
And Mars is the next natural step. In fact, it's the only planet we really have a shot at establishing a self-sustaining city on. That's,
I think, the next big thing. We've got to have a serious moon base, and then get people to Mars, and get out there and be a spacefaring civilization.
And I think once we do establish such a city, there will be a strong forcing function for the improvement of spaceflight technology that will then enable us to establish colonies elsewhere in the solar system and ultimately extend beyond our solar system. It is generally true that innovation comes from questioning the way things have been done before.
Yeah.
And if in the education system you're taught not to do that, that will inhibit entrepreneurship. Elevators used to have a manual elevator operator.
Yep.
And you'd have somebody would be sort of moving the lever and be able to do fine-tune adjustments with the elevator for each floor. Now there's no manual controller for elevators.
Yeah.
I think it's going to seem the same way for cars.
Yeah.
In the long term, owning a car that does not have autonomous capability will be a bit like owning a horse.
Yeah.
I mean, you sort of own a horse for sentimental reasons, but not for actual transport.
Yeah.
And the thing that really got me, and I think is going to get a lot of other people, is that there are just so many false dawns with self-driving, where you think you got the problem, have a handle on the problem, and then it turns out you just hit a ceiling. Admittedly, these may be an infamous last words, but I actually am confident that we will solve it this year. But the probability of an accident, at what point do you exceed that of the average person?
Right.
I think we will exceed that this year. We need cameras and silicon neural nets in order to have self-driving work for a system that was designed for eyes and biological neural nets. You don't realize basically how dumb you were. And then it happens again. Obviously, we need to be careful that this doesn't become a dystopian situation.
And I do want to be clear, like, predictions are not endorsements. So I'm not saying that this would be a good or a bad thing. I'm just saying that this is probably what will occur.
I don't want to blow your mind, but I'm not always right. We really want to wake up in the morning and look forward to the future. We want to be excited about what's going to happen. And life cannot simply be about sort of solving one miserable problem after another. So long as we are not complacent, as long as we have a high sense of urgency about moving towards a sustainable energy economy, then I think things will be fine. Well, I think if you want the future to be good, you must make it so. Take action to make it good, and it will be.